Okay, thanks for agreeing to do this, Lloyd. If I could just ask you how you feel the mentoring has gone in general.
In general, it's gone very good. From meeting Ken at first, very professionally, sort of meeting him, to now sort of not knowing him quite well, but knowing what he does is sort of what his profession is. It is very different to what I'm looking to go into, but obviously it's very hard. But then I'd say if you paired everybody perfectly, I don't think it would work too well, because you're very sort of tunnel vision. You wouldn't be, you'd be both looking down the same path. Whereas if I'm looking at it someone else's perspective, he's on more of a civil side, whereas I'd be looking for more sustainable designing side sort of thing. So, but from that, he can also see how I'm developing as a student, what I'm doing, what projects I'm doing. I'd say the main thing is he's made me realise through my modules and through what I'm doing outside university with little projects I'm working in, how to best show them on my CV, best show them in an interview, basically make sure that in your interview process, twist a question or twist an answer to what your strengths are. Yeah. So that you can say, I've done this, done that, so it makes you sound better, makes you show your merits. Yeah.
That's lovely. So I mean, you've touched upon that already, but what were the discussions about?
Mainly about CV, tweaking it to specify for certain companies or certain audiences, and then chartership, looking into how to get yourself chartered, just developing your professional side of your personality and professional skills, so that they can all add onto the CV. Even things like he said, even if you're just starting your chartership or starting your personal development plan, put that in your CV, and stuff that I wouldn't even thought of, perhaps even though I haven't fully completed it, say, oh, I'm started it. So it shows your willingness to engage, your willingness to progress your knowledge.
Yeah. Yes. How did you communicate? How often and where?
I'd say at first it was every 2-3 weeks, actual communicating, meeting once a month. We've only ever met face to face, which I know it's e-mentoring, but purely because he works local. He's passing through Loughborough, he's got projects in Loughborough. He said, rather than doing the e-style mentoring, face to face, we felt we get a lot more from it, purely because you can get someone's mannerisms, and you can get someone, if for some reason technological problems might happen, whereas if you're meeting face to face, nothing can go wrong. But on the other side, I think we may have missed the trick somewhere by not being sort of forced to sort of try every type. Perhaps there should be an improvement where they say try phone one. We've done an email discussion, we've done text, and we've done face to face, but we haven't done sort of a Skype, a sort of a live FaceTime type thing. Perhaps if we've been not forced to, but if we've been encouraged to try each type first and then see what you're best, I think we may have gained a bit more from that. But no, mainly face to face, and to be honest, it's more efficient. I think I know Ken definitely prefers that sort of thing. Yeah. And I think if I was with someone who was outside the country, it'd be completely different.
Okay. I think there's just one final question, which I think you've answered really, but are there any things that you've learned from your mentor, things that you might like to put into practice or implement?
Where to look for jobs. Don't always look where everybody else is looking, because there's a good reason why everybody's looking there. There's not many left, sort of thing. You've got a lot more competition. Whereas things like cold calling, letters, looking at who's doing well in the newspapers, in the news, in industry-specific magazines and things. Looking who's doing well, they must be. There's a good chance of me recruiting. So if they're recruiting, then perhaps we could approach them, and then from that tailor your CV to make it look like you're going towards them in the first place. And I'd say that's the main thing. And my main discussion was at the very beginning, I was between if to carry on to do a master's, or if to go into employability and then come back and do a master's. And I'm still in the waiver, but Ken is helping me. He's quite an open-minded, which is good, because he's very strongly goes straight into a job, but he can also see it from my point of view, where he can see that from doing a master's, I possibly in a year's time, industry's picked up, I may be better equipped with MSc. Yeah. You can possibly more chance of getting a better job where I want to and how I want to, sort of thing.
Okay. Lord, that's fantastic. Thank you very much indeed.